There we go. Pro game. Let's go.
I'm not a pro.
Yeah, fucking hard.
Listen, if you're on this camera, you're a pro.
T-shirt.
Pro. And on the hat,
Don't undersell yourself.
double pro. Hi guys, I'm that pizza guy, Kyle. Got a smile behind the camera this time. This is Stu from the Two Tossers. We're going to go through another episode today, and this was I was kindly introduced by Lara from Killer Carbs. So you called the Two Tossers. Let's just get straight into that before I get onto the actual questions. Why the Two Tossers? And I believe, well, at this rate, I'm going to be the second one. So, why Two Tossers?
Well, there was two of us.
Yeah.
But now there's only me.
Yeah. So
it was a bit of a hard one, really, because when we started out, we was just trying to think of a name, and I was trying to translate different Italian names and blah, blah, blah. And we was just sat in the smoking shed one day, and one of our workmates walked past and said, "Oh, them Two Tossers are in the smoking shed again, where they normally are."
Listen.
So I turned around and was like, "Ah, that's our name then, the Two Tossers."
The brainchild.
Yeah.
Sometimes the biggest fires start from the smallest of lights, so that's pretty funny that someone just walked past and told you what these Two Tossers doing, and you just went with it. I love that.
The name suits us all. Yeah.
So how did you get started? If we're going, I've gone from there. Let's go about how did you get started?
Well, again, we were sat in the smoking shed,
Yeah.
scrolling through Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rock box popped up as an advert.
Yeah.
Cook a pizza in 90 seconds.
And had you had any experience with pizza before this?
None at all.
None at all.
None at all.
So, Facebook ads were watching you.
Well, I've always been a foodie. I've loved food.
Makes
I
two
wanted
of
to
us.
be
I
a
feel like I say that all the time.
I wanted to be a chef when I left school, but food technology at school put me off because it was all paperwork and no cooking.
Yeah.
So I went in a different direction. I went in and out of jobs, couldn't get what I was used to. And when I was sat at work one day, I was like, I want to go into like making maybe soup or selling at a market.
Selling a product.
Selling the product, yeah. And then obviously the Gods and Rockbox came up on Facebook, and I was like, I showed it to my mate.
Yeah.
So, we need to get one of these. So I was like, oh, we'll go have someone then. We'll just cook for friends and family, and we'll bring it into work, and we'll do it on a dinner.
Yeah.
So it all stemmed from there. That was back in 2018.
So pre-COVID?
Pre-COVID, yeah.
So you started well before some of the other trends of people started.
Yeah, well, I didn't go into business until 20, I think, 2020.
Yeah. But you built up some knowledge from 2018.
A little bit, not a lot. A lot of secret people out there that won't tell you things.
Yeah, well, yeah. I know a few of them, me being one of them sometimes. So, what made you step up from, in 2 years then, going from 2018 to 2020, what made you and your business partner / friend step up to doing it as a job?
We were just posting pictures on Instagram. I made a Two Tossers Instagram page, posting crap pizzas, which we thought were brilliant.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone starts with. Everyone starts with crap pizza somewhere.
And I got a message off the local cider brewery. It was 2020, early 2020, when they messaged me saying, look, we run a cider brewery. It's locked down, we can't open, but we can open for takeaways. Would you fancy coming to serving the pizzas from here? So we started from there, and it was like, wow, we've got this oven to cook for friends and family, and someone wants us to
make pizzas
and sell them. So
exciting and nervous all at the same time.
It was exciting, yeah, and then obviously we had to get in touch with the council and all that jazz, and it just went from there. Started off in a carport.
Nice.
We had a carport.
Nice.
An hour and a half to put up.
Jeez.
200 screws and bolts.
Oh, I bet you been that off as soon as you could.
Yes, I did, yeah.
So, there's one of you now.
Yeah.
What happened to the other one, if you don't mind me asking?
Cut a long story short, he had a partner and she moved over to Barnsley.
Yeah, so...
he was commuting to work, and then on a weekend, having to do pizzas.
It was a long slog for him.
It was a lot for him, yeah. And then obviously he got kids.
Yeah,
so he didn't have the time to do it, and
that's fair.
I bought him out. And
nice. And now you're one tosser, two tossers.
Now I'm the one tosser, yeah.
So, we're going to make a pizza. We're going to learn about some of the times and the training things that you do. So, should we make a pizza while we're doing this one?
Yeah, go on then.
Right. So, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Answer them as accordingly. So, when you first started, was there any training or training tools or places that you went for specific things?
Yeah, I did the Marco course over in
Yeah.
Manchester.
Yeah. Anything else? Or obviously Marco. I think I've done. Well, I think I
YouTube.
have done Marco's class.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Just Googling really.
Yeah. Anything? What was a particularity? What did you like about Marco's class?
He's bigger.
Everyone loves his
Bigger.
figure. You know what's so good about it? That it's so difficult and hard to do. But
Oh, it is.
the
Don't get me
enlightening.
wrong, I do like bigger, but I do actually prefer Neapolitan.
Yeah. Well, that's a preference thing. I love that.
Yeah.
You have that thing. I love that style of pizza that he does. And actually, what I took away from it is like the sciencey things behind it that actually you learn, which make massive differences. Going from someone who starts out on pizza and gets it to a certain point, you can really, really, really get it to perfect pizza if you follow some of the steps he does. In terms of education, is there any tools that you would recommend for new people starting?
Yeah.
So obviously we spoke about YouTube. We use YouTube. We did Marco's class. Is there any things that you would avoid? Let's make it easier.
Yeah, don't listen to everything.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried poolishes, I've tried bigger,
Yeah.
I've tried higher hydrations.
And how did you find for your business they worked?
What?
Like the beagers and the poolishes, like
I've never done it for business.
No.
I've only done
And is there a reason why?
just time consuming and
Yeah.
not getting it right
Yeah.
and not being happy with it myself, really.
I think sometimes, especially in like the pop-up style that you and Lara, who's behind the camera, does. I think sometimes it is time constraints that can be the difficult thing, and goal management, and it's a common theme. Yeah, and I'll pull. So, when you talk about training, then, do you think it's a thing which is an essential part of the journey or not?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest learning curve? Training? Would you say doing it? Would you say
Stretching does obviously takes time.
yeah, that takes
It
time.
took me absolutely ages to learn how to
One of
stretch
those
my
things
dough.
that are easy to learn but hard to master.
Yeah.
You've got to put some time into it. Ready? That'll do. I do think like it's, in my opinion, that's one of the hardest things to do consistently is to stretch.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong way. I've learned. I've seen you stretch today. You stretch with your hands. That's the preferred method I like to do.
It is. I can't do it. To be honest, I can't do the Neapolitan slap.
No.
I've tried.
It's difficult, isn't it?
It is hard, yeah.
And it's one of those things that needs time.
And it's easier doing it. You've got to find it how easy it is and how quick.
For you.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, and
personally.
that's one of the main things is that what we're going through is like learning how to do it the way you do it, because other people will have the same sort of experiences. It's good to know like you don't do it because you're honest and you can't do it. You don't want to put more time into something that you can't do. It's good to see that that's not the only way to do it, and this isn't the only way to stretch, and this isn't the only way to top, and this isn't the only way to load. This isn't the only oven that you need. This isn't the only flour that you need. It's really good to see different perspectives and stuff, and like the way you stretch it is how I would stretch it naturally, is get it in my hands and mess around with it. The dough's looking really good.
I give it a go.
I'm
I'm not super speedy at it though. I'm like, I see people do it, I get a little jealous. And that's why when people film me stretching, I'm like I can do it a little bit
I can
slowly.
do the slap, but it just all crumples up into like a ball.
Yeah. You know what I get with it?
Depends how
It's
old
like
the dough is.
I slap it too far, so I take it to it's too big, and then it's like actually I only need to get it to about here, and then I finish.
Yeah, well,
stretching
that's when I first started doing my pieces. I was stretching it out
to the full size.
to the full size before I was putting it on my peel.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
obviously let that from
It's the
That's small,
but again,
stretch it on
they're the snippets. Like I was the same. Before I went to Marco's class, the reason I thought I needed to go was because I wanted to learn about cooking in the oven. But what I learned was why they do the slap stretch, why they stretch it on the peel. I didn't realise why they do that before they put it in the oven. I learned about adding water gradually to a mix. It helps build the structure better. Things like that. Makes it. Yeah. I go against the grain on that. So the way I learn is I had some background in bakery. So I knew when I first started how dough should come out of the bowl, which I think getting dough right is harder than the cooking of a pizza. So when I come to learn that, I do agree it gives you more precise.
It's a good guideline.
But when you're first starting out, that can be quite daunting to start with. I think for me, you're better to understand what dough should look like and feel like.
I think that will only come with time.
And that only comes with time. But then we go back to like the slapping technique and everything else. Your pizza, not mine. It's the same sort of principle. So I kind of knew that before I went in. But what it did help me make me realise is...
English, yeah.
Listen, nothing ever goes perfect for me, so don't worry about it. But what I would say is the crust is mint. We'll cut into that.
It's soft and crunchy at the same time.
It's definitely soft and crunchy. You'll probably get striped for that. But that's one of the biggest things. Like that class for me wasn't the case if I wanted to just go and learn vegan. It's actually, what do you know as a master that I could use in my everyday thing? And I think if you take the snippets like that, they're all worth it. I went to something totally different. I went to the School of Arts and Cookery in Nottingham. I might be wrong for saying that. Fact check on that. But I went for a baking class, and it was patisserie and some breads. And I spoke to a master baker there, and it was things like the type of yeast you use. I thought fresh was always better. I never used fresh near because it was hard to handle for me. I've used it fresh in the past. But what he said, it doesn't matter what yeast you use, just use what's controllable, because no matter what it is, it's the same. It doesn't make any difference as long as the measurements are equal to whatever the measurements are. So it's things like that that I find more of an educational piece than this is the way it should be done. Well, actually, I like the way you do this and this, but it won't work in my environment. And what I love about what you do, and some of the other guys as well, Lara included, Nick, Harry, and some other people that I'm hopefully going to have on the channel soon, is that you do it in a way to accommodate what your business is. And that's what people love. So that's what I would say is the greatest educational pieces. That's what, I love that you spoke about, stretching that aspect of you do it that way because that's the way you do it. It's
makes it easy for you, especially when you're doing events.
And
you've got a massive queue.
So for events, do you stretch for fresh as well?
For
every pizza.
Every pizza.
See,
unless it's a wedding.
Because I've seen other people and some of the techniques that they use as well.
How many did you do the other day in one event?
I catered for 230 people.
That makes me feel sick.
In what time frame?
First sitting was at 11:45. Second sitting 1:15.
There you go.
I had my mum helping me. She was, and my little helper. One was putting in the par bakes in the oven. One was cutting and serving, and I was just constantly cranking them out.
I love that. That you bring people on board as well to do it.
I couldn't do it on my own. I'd be a wreck.
See, I know some people have said to me before about doing videos is nerve-wracking and stuff, but when you flip it, like I only have to ever make pizza for like 8 people at a time max. That makes me feel sick when you say you've got to cater for 230 people or go into a market and stuff.
Don't get me wrong, I was absolutely bricking it. I was messaging you, wasn't I? I got because I only went full time last May. I've never really been through a winter.
Which is
didn't save for it. So it was like, I was at one point, it was like, why am I doing this? I need to find a part-time job. And then I got an inquiry for this 230 people. And I just sent them a price. Thought, have I sent them, is it too much? Shall I cut it down? Anyway, they accepted. And it's like, well, that's going to keep my bills paid for another good couple of months.
Which is good. That's the way it should be.
And then...
But again, you've learned, like, like Lara said in the previous episode, like what she spoke about, and she is here by the way, she spoke about making mistakes and going through them periods, and like that's, for me, I learn more stuff about that in this environment, speaking to you guys, and that's what's enlightening. You know, if I was to say, I know we're going to get that down onto this further down the line, we've gone off piste here, but like picking certain things out like that probably make a massive difference to other people further down the line, because they won't have thought about, as they're starting out, that they think trade is all the way through, when actually the most difficult points for pizza are the winter. No one goes outside.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We need strong eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has been a hard winter as well. So nothing happens during the winter
and it's
months.
rained a lot.
And it's
You
rained a
nearly
lot.
lost your gazebo once.
Yeah, I was doing a event.
You lost your gazebo.
Yeah, I was doing
Listen,
an event.
I'll tell you a
High
funny
winds.
story after you tell me this one.
I was doing an event at Scarborough Castle, top of a cliff,
Yeah,
and
sounds familiar,
I
doesn't it, Jenna?
didn't have my gazebo weights on.
Yeah.
So I'm there cooking. I think I'd gone to the toilet. I'd left
Yeah.
my mum in the gazebo, and I came back, and my rock boxes were on the floor, tomato sauce everywhere, and if it weren't for me van, which took a big hit, and the toilets, it'd been off a cliff.
Over a cliff.
It'd been on the beach.
And your Effie.
Oh yeah, that's another story as well. I was doing a brewery, a pub
Yeah,
it was before Christmas. Didn't put my weights on again, and the wind took back in the gazebo.
You're
My-
gonna
Doesn't
learn,
matter,
aren't you?
never
my
learns.
my FUNAs just
Maybe
went
you need to go back to the carport.
luckily I caught one and scalded my hand. The other
Oh,
one was,
silly.
well, broken stone, broken
So
down.
invest in good weights.
Well,
So another 300 quid later.
another story. So we used to do charity events. I never used to run them. It was before my time. Jenna used to do the charity events with her partner, Will, who's the technical director. We did a charity event for a cricket club around here. And we used to have a little appe with an oven in it. So you couldn't drive it, but you just took it to an event, had the oven and opened it up. You could, but you couldn't drive it. It was delivered. Anyway, this event was on the top of a hill. We parked it up, forgot to put the chucks in it. Handbrake wasn't on.
Handbrake was on, handbrake failed.
Oh, handbrake failed. There you go. She's sticking up for him. Handbrake failed, and he's seen it rolling away. Chased it, tried to carry it, tried to pin it back, and it didn't. It just rolled down the hill. And the appe and the oven and everything else that went with it was the end of charity events from there on in.
Oh dear.
So like we have some small experience in public venues. We
But
done one
things like
since-
that happen all the time.
all the time.
All the
And
time.
that's what I look, with people to it. So, like all other pop-ups, you are a pop-up. Where do you pop up the most?
Driffield in East Yorkshire mainly.
Driffield and East Yorkshire. Is there
Yeah.
any particular
East
venues
Coast.
we might know? Markets or?
I do Bridgerton Food Festival. They started up last year, which was a big hit.
Yeah.
So they went monthly last year.
Yeah.
And they were a really big hit. So I did them every month. There's a local brewery I go to now that was just around the corner from where I started.
Yeah.
Doing from Coleman Cider Spot, that's where we first.
Yeah, first
Started
started
up.
going almost back to home.
There's a
What
local
are they called? The new brewery.
Pump House.
Pump House.
Pump House in Driffield.
All craft.
Yeah, it's all made on site.
Nice. And what do you do? Do you just roll up with everything that you normally would have? They got an on-site kitchen.
No, set my gazebo.
Yeah, same as.
But hopefully not for much longer.
Not for much longer. Why?
So I've got myself a little horse box.
Oh! No more gazebos rolling down
No
the
more
road.
gazebos, no.
Okay then. So we've talked about where you pop up the most. In terms of like volume of pizza, what's the most you've ever done in one sitting? And what's the most stressful time you've done? So they might be two separate things, might be the same thing.
Beer festival right at the back of my house last year. I did 220 pizzas from 12 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night. That's the most in one day I've done.
How many? 200 and
220.
From what time?
From 12 o'clock in the dinner time till about 10 o'clock at
You
night.
make me feel sick.
Luckily, I had my house.
How did you manage the dough in that amount of time?
Well, my house was next door, so I had my
Oh,
dough in the
love
fridge.
So you had all the dough in the fridge?
Dough in the fridge, yeah.
And did you have to bring it out at different times?
Yeah,
or?
I've got what they're called, a Canberra front loader, yeah.
Yeah.
So I put most of them in there.
Mhm.
And then once that ran out, I scurried home and got the rest.
Nice. And was it a success? Have you done that? So that was the first time the beer festival was there that time?
No, I did it the year before, but that's the most I've got. I've sold out every year, so I thought, well, I'll take more.
Yeah.
Thinking I won't sell out, and I did.
Sold out
So
again.
220 weight, even
What time of year is that on? And what's the beer festival
First
called?
weekend in July, and it's Nafferton Beer and Gin
And
Festival.
you're doing it this year.
Doing it this year.
Shout out to Neapolitan Beer and Gin Festival. What's the biggest challenge you've ever had? Can you also please pass me the wooden
Biggest challenge? What
Or
is it, as in service
anything.
wise, or
panel? Anything. So to challenge when you've been in service. Yeah.
probably last week when I did the corporate event for 230 people.
So you're going to do me a favour, I'm going to try and make it in shape. So last week was the hardest one you've done, you reckon?
Yeah, 230 people. Yeah.
What made it difficult? Was it just because
Just the
you didn't have your
numbers.
house round the corner?
Yeah. Just the numbers and par baking. You know, for when I first started doing weddings, I was baking when I got there,
Yeah.
and then I realised that par baking's the way forward for them kind of.
Why does it
events.
make it so important to part bake it?
Just
Because obviously I've never done, and I don't ever dream of doing,
Just for the
230
initial-
people ever.
I think just for the initial rush. You know, when a buffet opens, everyone's straight there, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you know, taking a minute and a half to cook a pizza, one pizza's going to be gone in 2 seconds.
Yep.
So whereas if I par bake, I think last week I got up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Par baked about 30 pizzas before I went.
Yep.
And I got there and I par baked another 30 pizzas. So I had 60 pizzas sat there
Ready.
for the initial rush, and then
And how much more time does it save you? So if you're part baking them, I presume you're doing them in like 30 to 40 seconds.
yeah, 45 seconds.
And what oven are you using for that?
I'm using Effie Uno's.
Effie Uno's for
Yeah.
that. And then how long is it taking to finish them?
30 seconds,
So I guess-
if not less.
So you cut your time in half out.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
We're on board with this. So, edge down, and we're just going to go out the way you want to do it. There you go.
That was easy, wasn't
There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, I told you.
it? That was easy. I need a board.
You can do it with that and not appeal.
Exactly.
I know. I need one board.
Same way. Can you tell us any more about the Timmy Tosser or the horse box? I believe you're doing a prep kitchen as well.
Yeah, prep kitchen. I'm sick of doing it in my own kitchen, having to get everything out, put everything away. My pizza stuff's just taking over the whole house.
So is the prep kitchen going to be on your house?
Yeah, I've knocked my garage down and rebuilt it.
Oh, I love that.
So, and then Timmy.
What's going in it to make it how you would want it? You know, what was you missing before you moved into the space to make it?
Just having everything set out.
Yeah.
Having to get everything out, empty my van. I've just bought a third F-Uno now, so I can have one constantly set up
In
if
there.
I want to have, training days or not training days, but
Yeah. But you want to like,
test days and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
which is obviously one of the hardest things that you have to deal with, because obviously, and you don't want to be doing it in a service with 230 pizzas
No,
at any
definitely
one
not.
time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Timmy Tosser. How did the horse box come around?
Well, I think a couple of years ago I bought a big trailer, and I was still in full-time work, doing pizza on the weekend. I bought this trailer to convert myself.
Yeah.
And 2 years down the line, it was not moving. I just didn't have no time for it. Anyway, there's a local company that do different foods, and they have this horse box for sale.
Yeah.
And I knew he'd built it himself, and he's only used it 4 times.
Nice.
So
he built it for you.
yeah, but pretty much. Well, he built it for himself, but
Yeah.
used it a couple of times, and he put it up for sale. I thought, well, I always wanted a horse box.
Yeah. What was it about the horse box?
Just that it was done out already. Why I bought this one?
Yeah, you've always wanted a horse box, but why?
Because I don't like gazebos. Don't get me wrong, I love my gazebo setup,
Yeah.
and I think everything's clean and tidy. You know, you set it, they do look smart, but
No one
It's
likes
just-
setting a gazebo.
it's just the ease of setting it up.
Yeah.
Setting up in the pissing down rain and packing it down in the pissing down rain, and then
With the horse box, you can open the door and
Yeah.
off you go.
open the hatch, serve a pizza, shut the hatch, go home, deal with the shit later.
So it's everything that's in your gazebo currently is going in the horse box.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Why Timmy Tosser?
It rhymes, doesn't it? It rhymes.
That was really good, man. You're so harsh. Look at it. So you do Neapolitan style pizza. Is there any particular reason why you do Neapolitan? And 2, is there anything on the horizon that you're going to try?
I just love Neapolitan. It's easy digestible.
Yeah.
I won't say it's easy to make,
No,
But
but
it's-
I think you can.
but when I got the rock box and the videos I was watching, it was all Neapolitan
Neapolitan
style. So that's what I went into.
I mean, all the aspects of what you started with, a rock box and the rest of it, does lend itself to that kind of style of pizza. I mean, it's no secret that I like this low hydration, crunchy pizza. But that's what I love about pizza, is that everyone's got a slightly different variation in how they like it. I love that you're doing it. Are you thinking about any other styles in the future, or are you just going to stick to what you know?
I do like Detroit. I think I'm going to just do that for home.
Yeah.
Or markets, maybe.
You mean you're going to do it for home, and then
Start doing
and then
do it at
in
home.
2 years' time, you're going to launch
Maybe
it.
introduce it to markets, because you know
Yeah.
some people at markets don't want a full pizza. Nope, just want to grab and go. So,
I think the thing about Detroit is one slice can be quite filling, and you can top it quite heavily, so you don't have to sell the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the profit margin is a bit higher as well by
or
selling
panuzzo.
Panuzzo, I love that.
Yeah, I do like panuzzo.
I've seen a few different ideas for Panuzzo. I like the idea of that. The idea that you can do something like that kind of texture, handheld,
Yeah.
small, really good quality. Have you played with it yet or not?
Yeah, I've done. Yeah, only during service.
Yeah.
If I'm
And-
stood about doing that, I'll just try this.
You
Just try
can't.
this.
How can you be stood doing that with 230 pizzas at a time? Like, you can't be. I can't think about balling up that big pile of dough I've got there. It's been there all day.
You've got a baller.
Yeah, I've got ball. It's not good through the ball at this stage. New video incoming. But yeah, I love that. So Detroit, Panuzzo, something that can be different from a full pizza, more like handheld.
Yeah.
So, what are your favourite kind of toppings? You don't have to necessarily name brands. If you want to name brands all you want. And where do you source most of your toppings from? Again,
Carnivale.
yep, is where the sauce from. Why Carnivale? Just out of curiosity.
Just ease, I think.
How did you get
No
onto them?
minimum spend.
How did you get onto them?
Marco Fuso.
That's fine. I like that.
Del Italia as well. I've just started using them.
Yeah, they're pretty good as well. High premium quality products.
Yeah.
We tried the 100-year-old balsamic vinegar.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
we
amazing.
have.
I think we was in the same time, weren't we? In Nick's class.
Yes.
Yes, we were. I sat in the
Oh.
corner, kept myself
Was
quiet.
you there? Was you?
Oh, listen, I'm like a shadow, me. I'm everywhere. You're thinking about it now, and he was like, "Was it?" And I was like, "Oh,
Was that,
I'll
when
show
I,
you the
was that
video."
when I bought the world's expensive tuna?
Yes. And she dropped it. Didn't she drop the balsamic?
I'm still not trying that tuna. I don't know how to use
40
it.
quid
Can't just
tuna.
put it on the pizza.
40 quid tin of
I
tuna.
can't just put it on the pizza, can I?
I won't be making a pasta salad with it either.
What can I do with it?
I imagine that goes on some sort of fancy sandwich.
Lovely.
You probably need to get some
Panuzzo.
caviar. Panuzzo. Fancy caviar and a bit of 100-year-old balsamic vinegar. Yeah, but Del Italia is really good for some of the stuff they do as well. Carnivale, I've heard a few people say Carnivale if it's easy. Any other places you source ingredients? Or any particular ingredients you enjoy other than a 40 quid tin of tuna that you're just going to be prized possession? They'll laugh at that when they see it as well.
Hot Star Honey.
Hot Star Honey?
Yeah, I use that.
Any particular reason? You like that product?
I like the product, it doesn't set.
So, which
Especially these-
flavour do you use?
Scotch bonnet.
Perfect level of heat. What do you mix? What pizzas do you top that with? All of them, or
I put it on my Dolce Calabra, which
Right.
is pepperoni, andouille,
Yeah.
and hot honey.
Yeah, it's probably the pizza I'd pick off your menu. Do some quick fire questions. We're going to go through it quickly. First thing that's popped into your head. I might expand on it. No self-nominations for any of the questions. Also, favourite style of pizza? Go.
Neapolitan.
Favourite topping?
Pineapple. Joking. Andouille.
Andouille. Right, that's fine. Favourite flour to use at the moment? One, not multiple, no blends. Pick one.
Petra. 0102.
Okay. Favourite pizza place to eat at?
There's not really many around me, so.
Where have you been outside?
Oh well, the outside.
Anyway, it doesn't have to be around.
Need Neapolitan.
Need Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Why do you like it though? Because it's Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
Neapolitan.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
One piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out in a similar position to you?
Do your research.
Yeah.
Don't buy cheap,
Alright.
and just practice.
3 for the price of 1. Love that. And the last one, as always, who should be next on the next episode?
Cy Dixon from 2Js.
We're coming for you. Where can people find you? Have you got a website, any socials? I've got to do the pointy thing when you say it.
Yeah, twotossers.co.uk.
Yeah, website, Instagram, Facebook.
Two Tossers.
How do you do most of your business? Website leads or Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook and website, really.
So they can get into contact with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Perfect. That has been Stu from Two Tossers. Done and dusted. He's going to run off. I've been that pizza guy, Kyle. And we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for coming in, Stu.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
It's a wrap.